What's good, YouTube? So today I have a very exciting video for us today. So today I'm going to be talking about a validator that we recently launched on Harmony. So just to quickly begin, what is a validator? So if you look at my screen here, I'm going to show you. So on Medium here, someone kind of explains it, says validator are node operators that store copy of blockchain and perform certain functions to keep the system secure. So that's still kind of vague. So if you look here on CoinMarketCap, it says a validator is a crucial part of proof of stake consensus mechanism whose responsibility is to verify blocks to earn rewards. So that's very important right there. Verify blocks and earn rewards. The last definition I wanted to bring out here is a blockchain validator is someone who is responsible for verifying transactions on a blockchain. Once transactions are verified, they are added to the distributed ledger. So that's the kind of gist of what a validator is, how it operates. So essentially what you're doing is you are validating transactions on the blockchain. So whenever any transaction happens on Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever the case may be, those transactions have to be verified in some way. So we have two different mechanisms that exist today. We have proof of stake and we have proof of work. And this video, I'm not gonna go into too much details about which one is, so I don't wanna make it too long. So why are we working on a validator? So essentially, these validators are very, very important pieces of the network. And essentially what they're doing is they're earning rewards for being a part of this security measure. So where am I launching this validator? So I mentioned I'm launching a validator on Harmony. So Harmony is a very, very exciting blockchain actually. It's super dope. I believe in what their vision is, which is open consensus for 10 billion people. And what this means is cross-chain and bringing different blockchains together through something called bridges. So Harmony builds bridges to Bitcoin, they built a bridge to Ethereum, and in the future, bridges to other blockchains. So what that's gonna do is create a seamless experience between many different blockchains for any user in blockchain to use. I think this is super exciting because I personally believe in chain agnosticness. So I believe all the chains are gonna survive however they look. We're going to need these chains to communicate in some way, shape, or form. So this brings me down to what Harmony is currently looking at. So you can see Harmony is currently 19 cents. And it's pretty exciting because it's at an all-time high when you consider the 1-year graph. So I do think it's a pretty strong, relatively strong blockchain. So just to give the financial projections of what this looks like, what does it look like to run a validator? How much does it cost? How much will you be potentially earning? So let's take a look at it right here. As you can see, the startup cost for being a validator, and this is kind of a tricky startup cost because it gets more complicated, and I'm gonna explain it in a second. You can see here you actually need 10,001 tokens, but I personally recommend having 12,000 because you're gonna be dealing with a few transactions here and there, so you're gonna need to pay some fees. The fees are relatively negligible, less than one, which is kind of funny because the name of the token is one, but you'll need relatively less than 1 token in order to actually complete transactions. But as you can see here, with the current price of 1 today, that would relatively cost $3,000, which is pretty steep, but also very, very, very important to keep in mind because we're gonna go into the revenues and the future projections, and you're gonna see why this is potentially a huge, huge upside from taking this risk. So then moving on to the next point here is a server. So you're going to need a server to run this network. You can't really use your personal computer, so you have to go out and get a cloud server somewhere. I recommend DigitalOcean. It works pretty easily for me. You create a droplet server, and all of the technical aspects of this, if anyone is interested, I'm super, super happy to make a video about this following this that goes into deeper details of how to go about building out this entire validator system. So as you can see here, it's gonna cost relatively $200 a month to keep this server running, and an annual cost of $2,400. Based on the current price of 1 tokens today, or Harmony tokens today, it would cost relatively 787 tokens per month. So here, just to give a look at what the revenues potentially could look like. So, and you can see there's a lot of zeros in terms of how much tokens is staked. So the amount of revenue you're earning depends on how much tokens is currently staked in your validator node, because you're earning 9.67% of whatever value is staked in that validator. So that's going to change. But the interesting thing is your validator node, because it's running, also would have to be elected. There is a very, very important piece of factor. You need to be elected. So not every validator node gets elected. And if you are not elected, then your validator node will not be verifying transactions. So in order to be elected, you currently have to be, as you can see, this is our validator here, Brisket Stake. And you can see we currently have a total stake of 13,000 tokens, self-delegated 11,000 or 12, almost 12,000. And as you can see, we are not elected. So currently right now, we are currently not validating any transactions on chain. We're not earning any rewards. We're not doing anything right now. We're simply just up as a validator node. And just to give you a perspective of what the elected validators look like. So this is the entire validator chain. As you can see, I've ordered this from least to greatest. So the current stake required to be elected is right around 3 million tokens. And you can see relatively high number. So just to go back here and show you what that looks like, if you're able to climb that hurdle, so essentially when you get to 3 million tokens on your validator, you potentially would be earning 290,001 tokens per year. So you're getting paid in tokens. You're not getting paid in dollars. That's another thing about validators. So that's the other side of the risk. But then the interesting thing becomes, what happens when the price of the token changes? So as you can see here, with the current price of one today at 25 cents, I'll be making relatively $72,000 a year in revenue from the tokens generated from verifying transactions as a validator. But then that changes very interestingly. So just to give you an idea of what that looks like. So let's say the price of one went to $1, which is very, very possible. That revenue changes from $70,000 to $290,000. And then just to give you an idea of what I potentially see this becoming in the next 5 years, I think the price of the token could potentially be $5 if the market cap of Harmony goes to where Cardano is currently today. So what does that look like? That looks like $1.5 million per year in revenue generated. And that number continues to increase as we continue to increase the amount of tokens that is staked in the validator. So hoping we can get to this point in time where we have 10 million tokens, and I'm gonna go into a little detail about our goals as Brisket Stake validator and what we hope to accomplish. So just to give a current idea of what that looks like, we're kind of far away, as you can see, 13,000 versus where we hope to be at. But currently we're just building out we just built out the infrastructure. So we're trying to build out the marketing face, build out a team, work with other validators, find delegators, and just build out our community of validation in the Harmony network, find other players in the space, and just work with people and build infrastructure. That's the goal here. So we would 100% love support. If you're interested, if you have any tokens that you want to stake, and just to make things clear, until we get to 3 million tokens, we will not be earning any rewards. So if you do stake with us before we get to 3 million tokens, you would not be earning any rewards. But in the future, when we do get on chain and start verifying transactions, we are going to be keeping our commission at 0%. So you will be earning 9.67% on every single token that you stake with us, commission free. So just to give you an idea of what our goals is for 2022. So we're launching this in December. So our goal is by 2022, the end of, so a year from now, December 2022, we want to have 1,000 delegators. So 1,000 other people that are delegating their tokens with us. We want to have 10 million tokens staked with us. So again, what does that look like? 10 million tokens here with the current price at 25 cents. If we had 10 million tokens, we'll be earning relatively $240,000. But then again, in a year, that number could very well change. So the next thing we have is we want to be elected 100%, because that's going to be where we earn our rewards from. And then also we want to help launch 100 other validators on the network. So I'm guessing a year from now, Harmony's network is going to be very, very huge. So they recently actually, they didn't start validators until 6 months ago. So this is relatively new, having validators on Harmony's network. So we want to help increase that number potentially as we can. And next thing I mentioned again, we want to have 0% commission. And then the last thing, we want to have an analytics website for our delegators that's going to help them keep track of all of their financials. So how much money they have staked with us, how much projections that we have, just the data on-chain, and how the validator is working in terms of like performance, all of those information on that analytical website. So it's going to keep things very, very easy for our delegators to easily log on and see what's going on, and be kind of comfortable knowing and being transparent, essentially. So just to give you a quick on-chain demo on what our validator looks like. So I'm going to show you really quick here. If you look at my screen, just logging into the validator. So this is our remote server here. So I'm going to SSH into our server. Okay, so I've logged into the root of the server. So I'm going to go in and switch to log into our Harmony service. So I'm going to CV there, and then I'm going to run a blockchain validator information. This is the wallet's address, our wallet's address. As you can see, I'm going to go here. You can see our wallet's validator address, 508 SNK, and you can see here 508 SNK. So I'm going to run this. This is a command that basically shows us the validator information. So you can see on chain, this loads. Currently in committee, false. As I said, we're not elected, but we are eligible to be elected because you're always eligible to be elected if you're performing validator online with at least 10,000 tokens staked. But you will not be elected unless you reach a certain threshold, which is what we're currently working on. So as you can see, this is us, 508 SNK, and this is us on chain. So just wanted to show you a quick perspective. So this is our validator. We're online. We're ready to go. If you are a Harmony supporter, you like Harmony, you have any tokens, we would love your support. We're just starting out. We're very, very excited to launch this thing. We're super excited. So help us out and lend us a hand. We're going to pay it forward in the future, help other people launch their own validators as well. If you have any questions about anything technical, how to launch a validator, what it means, anything at all, make sure you let me know in the comment section below. I just wanted to show you. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure you smash that like button, destroy it, because this is huge. It took me a crazy amount of headaches and 2 days and frustration to build out this thing. Wasn't super complex, but I did have some hurdles. So if anyone is also trying to build their own out, I'll be happy to answer questions. Anyway, it was your boy Elijah. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe because I will always be covering vast amount of content around just investing, building infrastructure, building anything in crypto, as we continue to go in the future, obviously. But make sure you stick around because you don't want to miss anything on this show. Thank you again for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
No one put the facts to the masses.